foodie fans, and welcome back to the YouTube and welcome back to the channel. And today guys, we're going to be making an amazing beef and red wine stew in my lovely kitchen. And I know what you're thinking guys, you're thinking beef, red wine, Joe, that sounds expensive, we're not making this. Well guys, let me tell you, it's a really cheap cut of beef and we haven't got to use the most expensive red wine, just something that's got a bit of body and a bit of oakiness to it. So let's walk through this dish guys. This is an amazing one to cook. It does take a bit of prep time, well, half an hour to prep and about 3 hours to cook. So whilst you're cooking this, if you make this before a dinner party, which obviously we can't do because of COVID right now, or your other half comes home, or you're just making this for yourself, you can pop it in the oven, get your feet up, get a book out, a glass of red wine, and leave it to do its own thing. And the smell, your house will just smell absolutely amazing. So let's get into this guys, my special beef and red wine stew. Let's go. Alright guys, let's talk about the beef and the red wine because they're the most important ingredients in this dish. So, beef wise, you want a slow cooking, nice bit of beef, nice slab of beef, and I'll show you mine in a minute. Ooh la la. And for that beef, you want a bit of shin, some chuck, or a bit of skirt. With slow cooking, it's a completely different type of beef. It's a much cheaper cut of beef that you want. Wine-wise, I've chosen a supermarket own brand Malbec. It's kind of about £4.50, £5. You don't want to go too crazy. There's absolutely no point putting something really expensive in here. It's going to cook down for about 3 hours. You do want something with a bit of body and a bit of oak, so no nasty cheap cooking wines, please, because it's not going to help the taste. But equally, a 30, 40, £50 bottle of wine in here isn't going to help you either. So you want to look around sort of £4 to the £6 mark and try and find something oaky like a Rioja or a beautiful Malbec, something like that. So let's have a look at my beef guys and I'll show you through the ingredients of this dish and we'll crack on. And there we go, look at that guys. I'm just going to take a meat cleaver now, cut this up into the right size chunks for our stew, and then we'll start prepping the vegetables as well. So let's go. So you see what I'm essentially doing is cutting this down into strips and I'm going to go the other way to create our typical sort of beef stew chunks that we're used to. I just find it's way better to cut it up like this. You can create your own size and you can have it how you want. So we're going to cut these up here and just pop them into a bowl because we're going to season them with flour, salt and pepper shortly. Beautiful. And just look at that guys, the marbling on the beef. Absolutely amazing. That's going to be amazing. I mean, it's going to be so nice. Trust me, it's going to taste amazing. So that is all our beef cut up now, ready to go. I'm going to put some seasoned plain flour on this with just some salt and pepper, and I'm going to fry that off shortly. But before we do that guys, we're going to prep the veg so we know where we're at with it and we've got everything ready to go. So let's start on the veg. Veg wise, this one's really simple. We're going to use 2 red onions, about 6 shallots, which are little onions, and about 1 to 2 carrots. That's literally it guys. And we've also got as well 2 garlic cloves that I'm going to chop down finely and pop in with the onions. So essentially how this works guys is we're going to cook the beef off first in the seasoned flour and then we're going to pop in the vegetables and cook them for about 10 to 15 minutes. Add the beef back in, add the tomato puree, add the red wine, add the beef stock, in the oven for 3 hours, feet up, book, glass of wine. Best recipe ever, yeah? All right, so let's start with the big boy carrot. So we're just gonna do, as I said, rough size compared to the beef. So just quickly peel this. That's a really good job, right? Would you agree? So like I said, obviously with this one, we wanna get everything down to the same size. We're gonna go really thick because these will cook down and they're cooking for 3 hours, so just pop those in there. We'll just do one more carrot. nice thick slices for the carrot for the moment, because, as I said, we want it to cook down with the beef. And then now on some red onions, 2 of these beautiful red onions. And with these, we're going to keep them really thick. These are going to break apart quite a bit. Pretty much easy tip with the onion. If you just take the sides off and just take this outer layer off, you're pretty much ready to go, right? So literally with this one, just into quarters like that, and then once more across. That's it really. One more of those. Into halves, into quarters, and once more. Okay, so now we're ending up with this. Into there, we're going to put some shallots now. So shallots are these really small, look at that, 2 hands, 2 cameras. Oh! Paying the price for not having a cameraman today. We're going to put a few of these in. These are great and really versatile in stews. So here they are, look. Really nice colour inside. These are a real pain to peel. I mean, rightly or wrongly, this is how I do it. Again, I take the sides off and then I just go around and take that bit of skin off there. In half. But this time we're going to leave them in quarters. So just 4 bits like that. And we'll do 4 to 6 of those. And now we want 2 fat cloves of garlic. Look at these bad boys. We just want to take both of the ends off like this. Once you've done that, if you just give them a little crush with a knife, or the back of the knife, should I say, then the skin will just fall off beautifully, like that. And you can just chuck them in like this, because what we want is that minced, sort of crushed garlic. Okay guys, oven on at 150 degrees Celsius to warm up, and let's cook the beef, the vegetables, and start making the base for our stew. So beautiful beef is here. Oh yeah, look at that. A couple of tablespoons guys, plain flour, and just sprinkle it over like this. And then some beautiful rock salt. And some beautiful black pepper. Mix this up, and what we're looking for is to get all this beef coated in that lovely seasoned flour, right? And now it's time to fry this beef off, fry the veg, and make the rest of the stew. Okay guys, so oven is on, heating up at 150 degrees Celsius. Olive oil into the pan here. And let's go straight in with our seasoned beef. So literally what we want to do is get this in here guys, just break it up a little bit and let this fry off and start to seal up. So we want to cook this until we get some colour on it guys. You look at those beautiful chunks of beef in there. Probably looking for about 5 to 6 minutes on this one on a high heat. And keep turning it regularly, don't want it to let it stick. So we're starting to get some lovely colour on that beef now, so I'll be taking this out in a minute. The best thing guys about having a crusoe pot is that the heat you can create in there and the caramelisation on the bottom. It's just so good for stews. Anyone that's got a crusoe pot will tell you, stews, slow cooking, soups in the crusoe pot are amazing. Right, let's get this beef out, get this drained, and get the veg in. We're going to drain this beef into a colander to get all the fat out and just leave it sat there whilst we then cook the vegetables. Let's go. So a bit more oil into the pan, same pan as the beef, get the veg straight in, and we're going to cook these down now slowly for 15 minutes. Taking the heat down from high to medium to low for about 15 minutes until these are lovely and caramelised, and then we'll add back in our beef, our red wine and our stock. Okay guys, so whilst those vegetables are cooking low and slow for 15 minutes to really caramelise the onions and get the flavour from the bottom of the pan from that beef, we're going to make some stock. Now, normally guys, everyone will say, oh yeah, use beef stock in this because it's a beef and red wine stew. I'm going to use chicken stock, but not only chicken stock guys, I'm going to be using this OXO stock pot with chicken, thyme and garlic. Now, you're going to say, oh, it's a beef dish, why use chicken stock? Because the chicken stock makes it a little bit lighter and the garlic and thyme flavour just adds to the garlic and thyme that's already in the dish. So I recommend using these if you can. or you can use any stock you want to, beef stock, chicken stock, but as I said, these are perfect. So we want 400 ml of red wine decanted into our little measuring jug, and 300 ml of the chicken stock, which I'm just going to make now whilst these vegetables are cooking down low and slow. So whilst everything's blipping away and we're just waiting for those veg to soften down, we're going to make a little bouquet garni. Not a bouquet garni that you'd buy from a supermarket. We're going to make one with thyme and bay leaves. So we're going to get a bunch of thyme, 2 or 3 bay leaves, and tie it all together. And the reason for that is, in the stew, when you finish cooking it and you want to take those herbs out, you don't get left with bits of bay leaf and thyme stalk, which is a real pain. Grab some beautiful fresh thyme, 2 or 3 bay leaves, and a bit of string, or this from a Christmas present, and tie it all up. And there you go, a little bouquet garni. Oh, okay guys, so now our veg is pretty much ready. It's been cooking for about 15 minutes. We're gonna go straight in with the little bouquet garni of herbs, and we're gonna hit it with the red wine. So about 400 ml of red wine into there, crank the heat right up, and into there quickly guys, just a bit of tomato puree, and then bring this up to the boil. So we're just going to give this a couple of minutes to cook out on the alcohol and the wine and the tartness in the puree. Once that's had about 1 to 2 minutes to cook out, then back in with the beef. And now we need to add in about 300 ml of the chicken stock. And then we just bring this back up to the boil. So guys, that goes into the bottom shelf of the oven or just above for 3 hours at 150 degrees Celsius. You want to be checking it probably every hour and giving it a bit of a stir up. And don't forget, we're going to add our potatoes towards the end and our final seasoning as well.
Babe.
Yeah?
So, where's the stew?
It's in the oven. It'll be ready in about 3 hours time. So for now, I'm just reading a bit of P.D. James and finishing off the red wine. Okay guys, we are 40 minutes away from finishing, and we're going to add the potatoes into this stew shortly. So first of all, we've got to blanch them with a bit of salted boiling water. So Jordan, why do we add salt to our cold water before boiling?
To help speed up the process.
Exactly. Adding salt, guys, makes the boiling point slightly less and makes your water come up to the boil that little bit faster. So let's get our potatoes going, Jordan. Are you ready?
Go.
We're going to give these a bit of a wash, guys. Get off all the rubbish from these. Okay. Shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Cornish sea salt, guys. I miss Cornwall so much, you know.
I know, so do I.
And then some nice boiling water, which I've already got here.
Hot water, warning.
And we're going to cook these guys for 20 minutes. Drain them off and then pop them into the stew for the remaining 20 minutes to get that flavour into those potatoes. Okay guys, a good indication of when the potatoes are ready is when you can get a knife and pop them straight through. Just like that, Jordan.
Really nice.
Beautiful, soft and tender. So let's drain these potatoes right now. So Jordan,
yeah.
We've got 20 minutes left and our potatoes are nice and soft. Woohoo!
There's the steam.
There's the steam. Let's crack that open. So pop those in there, Jordan. And we'll have a little stir up, okay? And you want that liquid there, can you see?
Yeah.
To braise those potatoes. And in that liquid, you've got the thyme, you've got the bay leaf, the beef, the red wine, the chicken stock, the garlic. That is beautiful. We're going to pop that back in the oven for 20 minutes. But just before we do, we're going to give it one last little seasoning. So a twist of Susie salt, a pick of pepper Pete. Okay, and 20 minutes now back in the oven at 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, Jordan, the stew is nearly ready. The potatoes are cooking beautifully into that sauce. So we need to slice the herbs to finish it off. Now guys, I've told you before, please don't be like my friend Scott Rayner and use dried herbs. It just doesn't work. You need the fresh oils from the herbs. Jordan, am I right?
Yes.
Who's got dried chives on their pass?
Scott Raynor.
So for this one, guys, we need some beautiful fresh thyme. Little smell of that, darling. Oh yeah. And some lovely fat leaf parsley. Get your chops on that.
Very nice.
Beautiful. So we'll do the parsley first because it's a bit easier than the thyme. So we're just going to slice the top part off here, Jordan. Just like that. Just put that up into a little ball like this and chop through it. Okay, and then with the thyme, what we're going to do is take a little bit of this like this. And we're going to just pull those leaves off. Come right in here, darling. Can you see those leaves? Now this is smelling amazing.com. And then just quickly put that knife through there, just to make sure there's no big bits. Okay, so we are ready with the herbs. Wow, 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 wow. Beautiful thyme. Okay, we're gonna stir this thyme in. Now, thyme is full of lovely essential oils. I can tell you the smell from this is absolutely amazing. And then guys, just to finish, peat parsley. And look at that. A beautiful beef and red wine stew. Your house will smell amazing. Your friends will love it. Give it about 10 minutes just to cool down. Plate it up. I mean, you can serve this with some nice tiger bread, some garlic bread, some rice, whatever you want, guys. But just enjoy this, have a lovely evening, and make sure you enjoy the wine too. From me to you, enjoy this. Jordan, let's get stuck in. And guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Go crazy, berserker. Show them.